I can get this cleaned up. Maybe the lens is a little dirty. Happy Saturday, everybody. It's a quick random check-in. See if I can get the lens on. Tank is extremely blue right now, which it normally is this time of the day. What's happening? What's happening, everybody? Figured I'd check in and give you guys a quick look at the JBJ. Haven't really been doing much to it. One of the major changes that I did was crank the lights up. Lights are now running at 100% power. So Radion, two Radion X515s running 100% power underneath the Core Labs AB Plus program. So at this point, I'm hitting the tank with the most light I could possibly hit it with, at least at this point, until I end up adding more lighting or another Radion or supplement with some kind of Reef brights or something. I don't know. But at this point, tank is getting hit with everything it can get hit with. What's going on? So I figured I'd give you guys a quick look. Things are looking okay. I'm getting ready to mix up a water change so we can get a quick water change done on the tank. Probably be 10 gallons. I think I'm gonna hit the tank with a 10-gallon water change probably tomorrow. By the time I fill the water and mix it and get it all ready to go, it'll be tomorrow, and I'll get in here and try to quickly hit the sand bed, quickly siphon the sand bed, and then hit it with a little water change. So how's everybody doing? Hopefully everyone is doing good. If you got questions or anything, feel free to ask it in the chat. How strong got wave makers? Wave makers are also running at 100%. So we got 100% power on the gyres, both of them, and 100% power on the Radion. So the fact that I can run both at 100% power really makes me feel like I don't have enough, meaning I don't have enough light and I don't have enough flow. I feel like any equipment you have, if you can run at 100%, you probably don't have enough of it. You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds crazy, but that's just my way of thinking. So if I could probably do it again, I probably would have kept my third Radion that I had on here that I ended up getting rid of, and I'm probably gonna have to replace again. And I probably would have went with the Gyre 350s on this tank, which, you know, sounds like complete overkill. But that's what I want. I want overkill. I want something I can run at 50% and get the job done, not something I gotta completely max out. You know what I'm saying? So Radions are like 13 or 14 inches, something like that. I think they're 13 inches off the water right now. So yeah, got them at high for spread purposes and trying to reduce spotlighting as much, especially with how high the rockscape is and the acros are to the surface of the water. Don't really want to spotlight them as much with the Radions and burn them to a crisp. I could get crazy part numbers if I dropped them down to 8 inches or so, but wouldn't get the spread I needed. Once I get a third Radion again, then I could potentially drop them down to 8-9 inches, have complete spread overlap, you know, no shading or anything, and probably turn them down to maybe 70% or something like that. But right now, got to get the most I can out of these two Radions on here. Red Sea lights, never used them. Zorito. I'm gonna go ahead and drop some food in here. We got a cup full of some frozen food. Let me see. The acros, the top of the water. Well, where this ridge is, I'm getting close to 300 par. So anywhere between 280 and 300 par at 100% power from these two Radions. I'm gonna go ahead and dump some food in here. You guys get to see some mayhem. Let everybody get the grub on. I haven't actually fed the tank frozen food in quite some time. Everyone has just been eating pellet food for the most part. So that is just 1 cube of frozen food. So it looks like a lot, but it'll be gone here shortly. I've always fed my tanks heavy because I've always had a lot of fish, which At this point, I do still have a lot of fish in here for this size tank. I think I have 9 or 10 fish in here now. One of them is still buried, getting bullied, but yeah, definitely feed the tank heavy. Make sure everyone gets their grub. I found that the heavier I feed the tank, the less aggression I have. So fish that are not having to worry about their next meal usually get along a lot better, especially if you got this many wrasses. What's going on? If you get 300 par up there, I would not add or change anything lighting wise. Easiest way to crash your tank, light change. Yeah, Chris Reef, yeah, you're 100% right. I just turned the lights up to 100% intensity yesterday, the day before, so haven't even really given the tank time to show me the result of that change. You know what I'm saying? So, but I know eventually, I would benefit from getting more light, but at this point, I'm not in a hurry to do so. You know what I'm saying? So, but I did turn up to 100% for that particular reason, because I did want to slowly work my way up to that point, which I did. You know, over the period of 2 months, I slowly ramped my lights up from 45% intensity up to 60, up to 80, and now up to 100. So, didn't do it all in one shot. Let me see. Bad to feed frozen every day? No, it's not bad to feed frozen every day, man. I was feeding frozen every other day, very often. Just till recently, I just got lazy, and it was easier just to throw pellets in the tank and flake food, But I think just varying the diet of the fish is the most important thing. So some people feed frozen every day with their own mixture of frozen. You know what I'm saying? They make their own food, they freeze it, they throw it out every day, throw it in there. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't worry about that. Food is food. Some food has more phosphates in it than others, but ultimately, if your tank can process it, it can process it. You know what I'm saying? Let me see, another goby. Man, I'm on the fence about getting another goby. I don't think another goby would survive in this system, to be honest, due to the aggression of the wrasses. I think that'll be the #1 reason the goby probably wouldn't survive, and the other part is the sand bed is full of detritus and food and particles and stuff. I think it may sustain a goby for a little bit, but I just haven't had luck sustaining a diamond goby for a long time. Maybe I need to try a different one. I know there's different sand sifting gobies out there. I think chocolate gobies, the ones that are usually in pairs, I think those also do a good job of sand sifting. I maybe can add those. I haven't tried those before, but one thing I won't be trying again is another diamond goby, because I've tried multiple diamond gobies over my time in the hobby, and it's never ended well. If it didn't get killed from aggression from fish, they ended up starving out. And the worst part is this goby was eating fish food. So he was sifting sand, and he was eating the frozen food, pellet food. He was eating like everyone else, but he ended up getting killed by another fish. So he actually may have made it. Shrimp, yeah, you see the shrimp everywhere. I still have the 2 cleaner shrimp in here. I have not added any more fire shrimp to the system since they both got murdered by who, I don't know. But ever since those shrimp got murdered, I did not add any more. But I do love fire shrimp, and I'm very tempted to add another pair of fire shrimp to the tank. I just love how they add that splash of red and white, the activity level, and plus they forage and all that kind of stuff. But for some reason, the wrasses decided to eat the fire shrimp but leave the cleaner shrimp. I guess in the fish world, cleaner shrimp are looked at as helpers and not food. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe the fire shrimp were just old and just died or something. I don't know, but those fire shrimp I had in here were freaking humongous. They were probably the biggest fire shrimp I've ever seen, ever. Them things were both like 3.5, 4 inches each, both of them. So they were bigger than the wrasses, put it that way. Both fire shrimp were bigger. So kind of craziness, man. Do you think you'll be okay, local pest, according to your fish, instead of having you do it? Yeah, I mean, if they de-hance and if they have the proper setup, then yeah, why not? I mean, you usually got to pay a little bit more for it, but if they're doing it the right way, I would ask questions, and if possible, ask to see what they're doing and have them walk you through it. I mean, anyone that's doing something legitimate shouldn't care to show you or shouldn't be secretive about it. At least that's how I feel about it. But yeah, definitely, man. Taiwan, I got 2 shrimps in here right now. Have you nitrates changed using pellets versus frozen? No, really haven't. Chris Reef. But I'm also going to say that I haven't been testing nitrates and phosphates enough to try to determine that or tracking it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like tracking. I fed frozen this week, or pellets this week, and then tested the tank and then compared results and all that kind of stuff. Haven't done that, so I just feed the tank. I feed my tank so heavily that at this point I don't even really like checking my phosphates, because I can't really trust the result. Like, for me to trust the result of the phosphates, I gotta like not feed my tank for a day or something, so that way I don't have all the free floating, stuff from food, free floating stuff that I put in the system that can throw off your tests. If you feed your tank and then go check your phosphates within like 30 minutes of feeding the tank, it's going to be higher than it would have been if you checked it before putting the food in there. So, the fact that food throws off your tests is probably one of the main things. Let me see. What is going on, everybody? What is going on? 65 people sliding in. Happy Saturday. We're just hanging out, looking at JBJ. I threw a whole cube of frozen food. As you guys can tell, it's pretty much almost gone. At least the bigger chunks. The rest is just kind of floating around. Let's see. 1 inch of sand? Nah, not really. I think I got more. If I was to flatten all the sand out in the tank, I probably got a 1/2 inch of sand. In some spots, even less than that. Some spots, if I take a turkey basin and blow, it'll immediately expose the bottom of the tank, the glass. So I barely have any sand in here. And I purposely built up more of the sand on this side of the tank just for the blue spot jowfish, so that guy can have some sand to dig out and try to create some kind of little home, which he has over here by the clam. So I've kind of shifted all the sand in the tank, mainly this side of the tank. Over here it's super thin, like yeah. But even with this thin of a sand bed, I'm still noticing huge amounts of detritus building up in the sand. And it's even worse now that I don't have my diamond gobies turning the sand over anymore. So it's even worse. So it's kind of like, it is what it is. I mean, it looks good, but you end up paying for it maintenance wise. What's up, son? No, you just watching? I'm gonna fix something to eat in a minute. Yeah, I'm coming in here because you're hungry. Yeah. All right, so I'll let you know when it's done. But all right, let me see. Checking comments, guys. If you guys got questions, let's just have a little chat. Let's hang out. It's Saturday. Ain't too much going on. I know everyone's just sitting at home doing nothing, so, or should be, begging you to get a anemone. Flat on the right. You know what? Ritter anemone. Would a Ritter anemone work right here? That actually may be a great idea. I got anemones over here. I got 2 rose anemones on this side. But would a Ritter anemone work right here? I've seen those things. They're huge, but I don't know if it would set on this rock. Most anemones need somewhere to put their foot. They don't like just a flat area. But if a Ritter anemone will work in this area right here, that may be something I'll consider, because I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this area. And if I put an anemone there, it would add tons of movement and color. I think it would look great, man. But the clowns are actually being hosted by the rose anemones on this side of the tank. So let me see. Checking comments, guys. Alfredo, is a great idea, man. King of Soul, what's happening? Inventory King, I see you. Can I add new rock to my tank? Rosito, you can, but I wouldn't, especially if it's an established tank. I would try to cure that rock outside the system if it's not cured already, just to avoid issues. And if you do have to cure it in the tank, I wouldn't do it in your display. I would do it in the sump somewhere where it's no light. Cure that rock in the dark, but expect a change in your system. It's gonna leach stuff in your tank. It's gonna leach phosphates or nutrients or whatever it is in that rock. I don't know what kind of rock you're using. Claudius, what's up, man? Appreciate you. Live stream, and then boom, godlike, man. You thought me into existence. T5, probably not. Never been a fan of T5s. 1, having to replace the bulbs, and 2, most importantly, lack of shimmer. I love shimmer in my tanks. T5 will completely cancel out the shimmer. Not something I'm really a fan of. All right, let me see. Yeah, T40. Yeah, I am planning on getting rid of the Flame Angel. Flame Angel's gonna go. I just haven't built up the aggravation and frustration yet to catch them, because catching that fish in this tank that now is covered and peppered with SPS corals all over it, everywhere. There's SPS corals everywhere, man. Like this entire ridge is peppered with SPS corals. This entire over here is peppered with them. There's even some in the back, like in the back side of the tank, SPS corals. So, I mean, there's so many spots in here that will trap a net and snap off frags that I am completely paranoid to put a net in the tank and try to catch that fish. You guys know I am the undisputed, undefeated, fish catching champ. There has never been a fish that has escaped me once I put my mind to catching him in any tank I've had ever, regardless if it had coral in it or not. So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just weighing the risk versus the reward and trying to, game plan, the plan of getting that guy out, which more than likely wouldn't be right now. It would probably be at 3 in the morning. So I think I'm gonna start stalking that dude, seeing his sleeping habits to see where he hides out in the tank. And then at night, when he's disoriented, a little out of it, don't know which way, hit him with a flashlight, put a net in the tank, scare him into it, and then boom, he should be out of the tank. So I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. But yeah, that flamer is gonna have to go. If you guys watch and focus on him, you'll see him. All he does is go around and peck all day long, which is cool. That's what fish do. They swim around, they peck stuff, they eat algae and all that kind of stuff. But once he starts pecking at my SPS corals, we got a problem, and that's what he does. So it's a risk. It's 50-50 chance you're gonna have this issue with any dwarf angel. Never really had this issue in the past, but I've never had a flame angel with this many SPS corals as well. So softy tank, LPS tank, usually it's not that big of a risk, but when this guy gets a taste for the polyps or the slime coat on the SPS corals, and he goes around and pecks them and irritates them, and you don't get any polyp extension because of it, it's just one of those things, man. So let me see. Let me check. Still checking comments, guys. I'm working my way down. Sand-sifting sea star. Sand-sifting starfish is an idea. That's something else I can probably look into. Miracle mud this time around. Poking clams, man. I'm glad you asked that, because I have been thinking about that for weeks at this point. Adding miracle mud to the system, and I think I am. I think I'm going to add miracle mud again. Only because in my 120 gallon when I used it, the immediate change was the microfauna. That is undeniable. You add miracle mud to your system, microfauna population explodes. Tons of pods, tons of breeding, tons of all that kind of stuff. Even the shrimp become more active. So it's like the inverts, microfauna, they all have a positive reaction. Now, as far as the corals, I don't have a proof or a way of saying it's good for corals or not, but I will tell you, when I had a lot of RTN issues in my last system, when I added the miracle mud, it stopped. So don't know if that was just coincidence or not, but in either case, I'm probably going to add some just because of the potential benefits of at least microfauna, and if it does have side effects as far as helping corals, even better, right? If it helps add stability to the system, those little minor elements, trace elements, all that kind of stuff, then why not? It's just expensive stuff though. So the good news is I don't have a big tank, so I don't need a lot of it. Let me see. Still checking comments. Ritter 65, way too big. It's sting everything. So West Virginia, Reefer said he kept Ritter 65 way too big. So can you get a smaller Ritter anemone? I'm sure they get humongous. I think those things get like 2 feet wide. But I'm interested. I'm interested in putting something on this rock that's going to sway and move. I was thinking of getting more Euphilia, like frog spine and hammers, and putting them all in this area, like letting this be the beginning of it, and then having them all just kind of side by side and leading over this entire area right here, and let this all be like Euphilia. And then, I got SPS and stuff on this side, but still leaving this swim through open, but finding some nice pieces of Euphilia for this area is the goal, which isn't easy right now. Let me take a look here. Checking comments. If you guys got questions, comments, drop them, man. We just sitting here, we chopping them up. If you guys want to see different angles of the tank or something, let me know. I'll move the camera around. But for now, I'm just sitting in the chair, scrolling on the phone. What's up? What's up, Ariel Espinal? Casey Nano, nitrate testing. Yeah, I mean, I checked with Salifert. I got a Salifert nitrate kit, but haven't checked nitrates or phosphates in a while, to be honest. The fact that I just dropped a whole cup full of frozen food in here definitely is going to prevent me from checking the nitrates and phosphates, because I just, loaded the tank down with it. So I'll probably, if I do check them, probably be tomorrow before I feed anything. So I'll probably give it a full day and not feed these guys tomorrow when I wake up, and then check the nitrates and phosphates tomorrow around this time. I think that's probably what I'll do. Or I'll do that after I do a water change, see where I'm at after the water change. And then, I can assume that the water change dropped it down from a certain amount depending on how much of a change I did, and kind of use that to estimate where I was. But at this point, I'm not really worried about it. Corals look good. I mean, all right, let me see here. Checking comments. Yeah, calcium reactor is running, man. Calcium reactor is running. So I knew John Grip C. You guys talking to each other. Use acrylic fish trap, door catch them. Nah, never use a fish trap, inventory king. Never have. Never wanted to invest in one because I've always been able to catch my fish myself. Especially have millies. Yeah, I do have one millipore right here. I got a blue millipore right there. So I have one millipore in the tank, and it's just there. It doesn't look bad. I mean, it looks like it's just sitting there. But I don't have any polyp extension. So the only SPS core I'm getting polyp extension on is going to be this Aqua right here. This Digitata giving me polyp extension. My Monties are giving me polyp extension. The Priscillipore is giving me polyp extension. This horn coral back here, and these two horn corals. So those are giving it to me. But any of the other acros, zero. Zilch, none. No polyp extension whatsoever during the day or during the night at all. So let me check here. Checking comments. Yeah, the green leather in the back definitely has hit a growth spurt. I'm glad you noticed that. That sucker was not sticking up above the rock like it is now. So he's going to keep growing until he hits the top of the water column. That's exactly what I wanted, that big green background coral. And I also have a brownish, normal color finger leather behind it, a little lower, that's growing. That started off like a little nub. It was like a little pinky frag size. And that sucker's growing back there. So eventually it's going to be a big devil's hand leather growing in too. So it'll be brown. So it'll kind of contrast between these two greens. Be a brown, leather core taking over. So it'll definitely, it'll grow in. Got a few corals that are doing better than others in the system right now. What will replace? I'm checking the comments, guys. Jawfish is doing great. He's on the bottom. Well, he's swimming. You see the jawfish? He's been swimming a lot more around the tank, which further lets me know you got to have a lid on the tank if you're going to keep one of these dudes. There he is. Look at him swimming around. So that's OG Lockjaw. He's doing his thing. He explores the entire tank. He don't just stay in his burrow. He never has. This guy never has. There goes his home down there. He just went to. So, but no, keep a lid on the tank. He's doing good, man. Never had rapid rise. Never had it before. After the power outage, I did lose like 3 or 4 corals, inventory king. I had some STN issues. I ended up losing my Jason Fox Fox Flame. I lost my purple Stallow. Lost the bird's nest I had in here. And I almost lost my PC Rainbow that was STN in. But I ended up fragging heavily, cutting off some of the dead parts. And what I had left, the nub is left, is surviving. So, but yeah, that power outage had some delayed effects. It didn't happen right away, but then the next week or two, I started having weird stuff happening in the tank. What am I going to replace the Flame Angel with? That's a great question, because I know I've been talking about not adding tanks to the system, but once I get my bioload down to a certain point, I could potentially open the door for that. And I'm thinking about it because, if I ended up removing the Flame Angel, I've already lost the Diamond Goby. So Flame Angel, that's 2 fish down. And I also may remove this dude because of his aggression issues. He's currently bullying. He's already killed the Diamond Goby. He was the one that stressed and killed the Diamond Goby. Him, that guy swimming around. So he now is bullying my green chorus wrasse, which is buried in the sand right now. He can't come out without getting chased to death. So he just hides himself. So he's about to kill my green chorus rise. And then I also noticed the other day he was messing with OG Lockjaw. Now OG Lockjaw wasn't having it. You know, he opened his mouth and, you know, stood up for himself. But the fact that he wants to try to mess with OG Lockjaw, that in itself was enough for me to turn him into a fish potato chip personally. So if I end up removing that dude, that'll be 3 fish down, potentially 4 if my green chorus rise ends up dying. So that's 4 fish gone, right? 3 being manually removed, 1, you know, well, 2 dying, 2 manually removed due to aggression, you know, those kind of things. So if I drop 4 fish, then I can replace those 4 fish of bioload with a tang. And it would be a smaller tang, bristletooth, maybe Tamini or yellow eye cold tang, something like that. A small guy, a baby, something that could grow out in the system. But I'm not going to put anything crazy in here like, you know, a powder blue or something crazy that's going to get 8-10 inches because I don't plan on, you know, upgrading the system. So, but we'll see. We will see, man. We will see what happens. It's all going to depend on the day I put my hands in the tank and start trying to catch fish and see if I can get those 2 guys out. But I am kind of ticked off about this guy's aggression. I like the fish. I like the aggression he has, but once he starts killing off all the fish in the system, it's going a little too far. You know what I'm saying? It's getting a little too far. Like, look at him right now. So, is he going to mess with the radiant wrasse? I don't think so. I don't think he's going to mess with him. But, I mean, I guess it just depends on which fish he goes after. There's some fish in here I'm just like, they're off limits, man. If he tries to mess with them, I'm just going to act immediately. Let me check the comments. I'm trying to check the comments. 91 people slid in. How you guys doing? Happy Saturday. We just in here just hanging out. Tank's been set up. Luke Chris, tank's been set up for about 10 or 11 months now. We're coming up on the 1 year mark. Not there yet. We're almost at the 1 year mark. I got to look back through my videos to see when I actually started the cycle on the tank. I think it was sometime in oh, there he is. Look, my green wrasse came out. I just told you guys what happens. Look at him. Look, y'all see him? He's running. You see that? Watch it. He's on the top right. That's my green chorus wrasse. This is what happens to him when he comes out of the sand. He came out hungry. I'm gonna see if I can get him some food. I'm gonna throw some food in there to see if I can get him to at least eat some. He's up on the top right of the tank right now. Throw some pellets in there to see if I can at least get some food in that guy's stomach before he gets bullied and chased out. But you guys are witnessing it live and in person right now. Literally, I don't know where he came out at, but he's up on the top right, up by the gyre. Here comes the, yep, there goes the scarlet wrasse. He's about to go and try to attack him. And boop, there he went. So the wrasse went and buried himself in the sand. I just watched him. He went right in the back, and he went head first into the sand. Now he's buried again. So he didn't get a chance to eat. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I've noticed in the tank, which is crazy because he wasn't doing that at all. It's like once he got finished killing off the diamond goby, he set his sights on another fish and decided to make that fish die too. So my thought is, I'm like, okay, well, if he killed one, I let him get his rocks off. I let him complete his murder. You know what I'm saying? He got it done. We'll just settle for it. You know, the diamond goby probably wasn't gonna make it anyways. Whatever, right? Cut my losses. But if he's gonna do this every time, you know, let's say he kills the green chorus wrasse, and then after a couple weeks he decides to set his focus on something else, then that fish, he's just, you know, he's got to go. So he may get put on the no purchase list again for me, along with the bluehead wrasse. If you guys remember my 120 gallon, never get that wrasse again. But I'm still going through the comments, guys. You guys are seeing live action right now. So flower pot coral, something, side shots. Okay, let's see. I'll get you guys a little bit of side action. Get you guys a little side action here. Sorry it took me too long to get down to that request. We got some diatoms on here. Inch per gallon rule. No, I don't worry about inch per gallon. That's something I've never really worried about. All he needs is a straw. That's right, baby. Yeah, blue spot jawfish definitely looks like a jumper. I've never seen him actually leave the water. He always hovers around the top of the water line if he's doing stuff. I think he sees the net That jawfish is smart as hell, man. I think he goes to the water surface. He looks and sees the lid on the tank and probably just says, the hell with it, I'm not even going to try it. I think if that lid was not on the tank, I think that guy would go for it. I seriously think he would. All right. JBJ more difficult than 45? Yeah, definitely. This tank is way more difficult to maintain than the 45 gallon because I have so many more SPS corals in here. That 45 gallon, I was able to chock full of, look at the jawfish over there swimming crazy, but I was able to chock it full of coral pretty quickly. You know, I was able to grab 4 to 6 head pieces of Euphyllia, you know, some big leather corals, you know, some soft corals. And before you know it, you add 15, 20 of those corals, your tank's full. It's completely full. So, you know, at this point, I don't have that, you know, ability. I don't have those corals available anymore. I can't go to the LFS and just spend 50 bucks and get a nice 5, 6 head of, you know, frog spine. That's what it was. It was literally $50. Can't do that anymore. So this tank, the biggest difficulties of this tank is stocking it, finding the corals available that I actually want. And then because I have so many more SPS in here, staying on top of my water parameters a lot more than I used to on the JBJ 45. So this tank is way less forgiving, man. I will tell you that. Let me see. Checking the comments, still checking comments, guys. Love to have one. Yeah, blue spot jawfish definitely is a great fish. Very expensive though, so I wouldn't recommend getting it unless you've been able to go months without fish deaths in your tank. And you know, the deaths I'm talking about are the ones unexplained. You know, like fish just keep dying for some reason in your tank. I wouldn't risk a jawfish. You know, if you had something die because you watched it get killed by something, that's different. But like if you still have cycling deaths or you know, just instability deaths, tank immaturity deaths, those kind of things, don't even risk a jawfish. From what I can tell though, they seem pretty hardy. He eats everything. He didn't come in famished or anything. He started eating, you know, like day 2 or 3, he started eating frozen food, and eventually he started eating flake food. Well, not flake food, pellet food. He still don't eat flakes. Dude don't eat flakes at all. Nasaurus snails, tiger conch stirp, you're saying. I got a conch snail in here. Nasaurus snails don't really do much for stirring your sand. They just sleep in the sand. They're only active once food comes out. They're not really doing enough to stir it. The only thing that'll really stir my sand bed to the level that I want is going to be some kind of sand sifting fish. Invest in the generator. How much you cop those Wyoming white clowns? I got these Wyoming white clowns as a bonded pair at my local LFS for, I think, for $120, something like that. So they were a mated pair. Checking comments. Still checking comments. What's up, Phil, Reef Keeper? What is going on? Joey, where else need to go? Still checking the comments. One fish attacking my green chorus wrasse. Fish that attacked him was the pinstripe scarlet wrasse. This one, that pink one right there. Same one that killed the diamond goby that I shared with you all on that video. So this dude right here, he is the one that's gonna have to go. I'm gonna run from the camera, but don't try to be shot down, dude. All right. See if I can give you guys some different angles here. Give you guys a good look at OG Lockjaw and his clam, which is not open right now because I don't know why. I think someone kept messing with it, or someone must have just swam over it. Bella goby. I'll look into the Bella goby. We'll see. Flame eating coral. Close up on the clam. Yeah, the clam's not open right now. It was open earlier. Do I miss my 45 gallon? I miss my corals in my 45 gallon, but not the tank itself. I wish I hoarded all the corals, all the Euphyllia corals I had in that system, all the Euphyllia corals I had in my 120 gallon, all the Euphyllia and soft corals I've had in all those tanks. I wish I still had. I wish I never got rid of them. So, all right, let's see. Still checking comments. Do you dim the lights every time you add acros? No, I don't. But I don't add acros that often. I really don't really have room anymore to add a lot of acros anymore. So at this point, if I was to add more SPS corals, I wouldn't dim the lights. I would just put them on the sandbed. So I would find a shaded spot in the tank, probably like in between the rocks or something right here, like where this overhang is, and just put a little rack right here and maybe just put the new corals on the sandbed. That'll probably be what I'll do. That'll probably be the easiest way of trying to acclimate them, you know, before I put them in the spot they're going to be in, because I'm not going to keep changing the entire tank's lighting parameters just for new coral that you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to risk the whole majority just for a new coral to be happy. So I'll probably never dim lights again. Right now my lights, for those that don't know, that just joined, I'm running my lights at 100% intensity now. I just cranked them up all the way 2 days ago. So I had slowly been working them up from 45% peak intensity. Went from 45 to 60, from 60 to 80, and then from 80 to 100%. So and that 100% is just now, like I said, kicking into effect. This is day 2 or 3 of that change. Haven't noticed anything bad right away. So that's a great sign. And I did this over the period of like 2 months. Slowly walked the lights up to that level. So it took me 2 months to get to 100%, and now there's no other changes to make. So I'm literally gonna run this tank at 100% wide open, 100% power on the gyres, 100% power on the Radions is what I'm running right now. Checking comments, still checking comments, guys. China acros, do you have, and which one's your favorite? I don't know all the names of them, man, but there goes a bunch of them up here. PC Rainbow used to be my favorite. Well, it is my favorite, but it's not really my favorite right now because it's green. It doesn't have the same color it used to. But so a lot of the corals changed colors. A lot of them greened out on me. I'm hoping that cranking the lights back up to 100% is gonna allow the colors to come back on those corals, but they're still doing okay. Like that one's encrusting pretty good. You know, for the most part, like I said, SPS corals are doing their thing. So it's not really a lot of not really a lot to really speak about. This is a new piece right here. This is Space Invader Chalice. I'm really excited to see how that coral grows out. So haven't really done a lot, guys. Just been kind of letting the tank do what it do. I'm gonna do a water change tomorrow. It's been like 2 weeks since I did the last water change. I got corals stuck all over the place, like even in the background. You see back there, the backside of the escape, got some SPS right there. Got some spongoid on the backside on this side. So I mean, once all this stuff grows in, it's gonna be like corals and sticks everywhere, and it should look pretty cool. This area here is the spot I don't know what I'm gonna do with. So, you know, hopefully fill this up with a bunch of Euphyllia is the plan. Got some encrusting Monties on this front side, so let this entire front area of this overhang just be completely red here. So it's gonna be kind of red all the way through here. Contrast it with some different colors in the back. Got some red there, some green here. Then I'll have some different colors, and you know, we'll just kind of make sure things go around. Got some red planet. I just added a small frag of red planet, which is glued right there. So we'll see how that grows in. Ended up moving the Setosa from right here to right there. So I really want the Setosa to take over this area, completely grow in. So I mean, I got an idea of how I want it to play out, but I still have to track down some corals that are going to help complement the escape and help complement what I'm running, or at least what I want. Still checking comments, guys. Let me catch back up. If I missed your comment or question, you know, you can ask it again. Put a question mark on the end of it. Really helps draw my attention to it. Or if you guys didn't know, the little money symbol, the super chat option, is available as well. A lot of people don't even know what that is, so let me explain it. It's a donation to the channel. So go straight to YouTube, which comes to me, and helps with whatever I need it to, you know, as far expense wise for the tank or for home or whatever. At least in these times, it's always been for the tank, but it's just support for me in general, for me and the hobby and all that kind of stuff. But it also helps get your question out there. So if you ask a question and make sure it doesn't get missed, puts it up bright and center, you know, in yellow, orange, or however much you donate. Let me see. Not required though. I'm just kind of make sure you guys understood it was available. Let me see. I'm checking here. Checking comments. 2 different trumpet corals seem to have bigger heads. Yeah, I have 3 different trumpet corals in here, man. 3 different trumpet corals. We got this one right here. It's like the crazy bright green. I forgot what the name of that one was. And then we got 2 other ones on this side. This one's more of a teal, and this is a green. So these are still growing. This one is splitting to 3 heads. That one is 2, but that's getting ready to split. It seems like on this side of the tank where they're not getting much light, they are like thriving. These over here are way, way bigger and, you know, swollen and all that compared to these dudes, which are, you know, easily lit by the light. You know, they're definitely getting a lot more light right here. So good and bad. I really love the neon green. This gives me right in the middle of the tank, so I don't want to move them because of that. But if they're going to do better underneath lower light, I may move them. And so it just depends on what I can find there. We had a super chat come through. There we go. Send support. Appreciate you, Chris Fishroom, man. You always been supporting of the channel and always chipping in, man. So appreciate it, especially in times like this. I know everyone doesn't have an abundance of anything at this point, so any amount means a lot. I'm checking the comments, guys. I'm still trying to catch up on the comments right now. Spinning sandy low corals. No, never had an issue with that. Corals from LFS. Let me see. Love the frog spine. Mike Johnson thinking about getting media reactor from a 30-gallon. I wouldn't waste money on a. I wouldn't waste money on another media reactor ever again. Honestly, me personally. Because I'm never using media enough to justify having that reactor. If I need carbon, I'll put it in a media bag, use it, and then take it out of the tank. You know what I'm saying? I don't use Rowaphos. I don't use GFO. I don't use any kind of chemical media as far as nutrient export, right? So I don't have a need for it. If you're not gonna use something like that, then I wouldn't get it. I rely on more natural filtration, you know, refugiums, algae scrubbers, shadow reactors, those kind of things. So you got to think about it. How much is that reactor really going to get used versus could you really just throw your media in a bag and then when you're done with it, remove it, right? Is it going to be as effective? No, but it's still going to work. So me personally, I probably would never get another media reactor. That's just me. And that also came into play. My 120-gallon bought a media reactor, never really used it. It was a waste of time. Ended up removing it, getting rid of it, and selling it. Hopefully that answered your question, Mike. Checking. You know, still rolling. Mandarin. I tried a Mandarin in my first tank years ago, but it starved out. Never had one since. I could try one in this tank. 24/7. No, my lights are not on 24/7. I'm running a 12-hour window. Insane Reefer. Here's a little bit so you can leave the stream up. Insane Reefer, man. $4.99, $5 super chat. Appreciate it. You guys know the rules with the stream staying up, man. You guys know I never leave my live streams up unless we get 100 likes. And we get 100 likes on the video, I'll leave it up for replay. Because if it doesn't get 100 likes, that means, you know what? It's probably not good enough for replay. It's probably not worth a replay anyways. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, throughout the live stream, we probably have 100 people that come and go or whatever the case may be. So as you come in, if you hit the like button, and if somehow during this video we end up getting to 100 likes, I'll leave it up for replay. So should have mentioned that at the beginning of the video, but you know, everyone knows the rules on the live streams. All right. So if you guys want to see a replay, if you just came in late and you want to be able to go back and view the beginning, you know, so all kinds of stuff we talked about that I'm not going to keep repeating, but is available in the beginning of the video. Come hit the like button, man. Hit the like. Like. I don't really, you know, I'm not really a like Nazi. I'm not going to keep telling everyone to do it, but if you want to replay, hit the like button. All right. Let me see here. Manly Ick guessing formatting fish. Till add more. Benny, once everyone in the tank looks healthy, you can try it. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I guess the responsible answer would be to remove all the fish from the system and, you know, let the tank go without fish for I don't know how many months you're supposed to go, to let the ick in the tank completely go through its life cycles and starve out and die, and then add the fish back in there. You try to do that. Me personally, once everyone looks happy again, it doesn't look like it's a stressful environment, and the tank parameters are good, I would try adding another fish again. I wouldn't try any high-end fish. I would, add the fish that you want to add that are easier to keep, maybe hardier. See how they do. Let me check here. Checking the comments, guys. We are checking the comments. I think I'm almost caught up. David, appreciate it, man. So your tank looks great. Yeah, the tank's doing okay. The cars, Rose, enjoy watching it. A nice red. Yeah, Gonapore will look great. It would, wouldn't it? Yeah, I gotta find me some kind of Gani or pot coral. Any tanks planned? Depends on how many fish I get out. Now, I talked about that a little earlier in the video, but if I end up removing 2 or 3 fish that I'm thinking about getting out of here, then I could potentially introduce a bristletooth tank to the system, but not right now. My tank is already fully stocked. It's heavily overstocked with like 10 or 11 fish. Well, 10 now, I think, since I've lost the diamond goby. So I wouldn't add a tank in here unless the maximum head count is going to be like 7 or 8 fish, with tank being one of them. All right. Coral enhancement, color enhancement. I do have acro power amino acids that I add to the system sometimes. I need to get on a better regimen, but because I know I'm not disciplined enough to dose the tank exactly the same time or the same way every time with the aminos, I am planning on getting a little dosing pump, maybe one of the cheap ones from BRS, like the 1 milliliter dosing pumps or something. Doesn't have to be a crazy expensive one. I just need something I can have the apex turn on and turn off and dose the tank with aminos, whether daily or every other day or something like that. But amino acids is definitely going to be one of the things that I'm going to start adding more consistently. So, all right. What I use versus ick. In this system, I haven't quarantined. I haven't done anything. I just dropped my fish in and they've made it, to be honest. I do have a UV sterilizer on the system. I'm going to say that's probably the biggest factor that probably has allowed me to get away with what I've done as far as added fish to the system from multiple sources. I've added it from local. I've added it from online. I got fish in here from Live Aquaria that were shipped and put right in the system, no quarantine. I got fish that came from the LFS, put in here, no quarantine, and I have not been hit with any kind of velvet or any tank wiping diseases. None of that's happened. I'm going to attribute it to luck, and I'm going to also probably attribute that to the UV sterilizer. I think the UV sterilizer has done a great job of maybe keeping those bacteria or those diseases in check enough to where the fish can handle it. But I haven't had those issues. So I would say my experience using that UV sterilizer on this system, with it being my first system using it, it's probably something that is going to carry over to any other system that I end up doing in the future. So checking here. I'm still rolling through the comments, guys. Mandarin do have plans on getting it. Still checking here. We still checking. Looking awesome. As you guys slide in, hit the like button as you guys come in. You guys remember, if we get to 100 likes, I get to leave this video up for replay. Trying my best to leave it up for replay, but I need you guys help to make that happen. We got to meet that requirement. Got to meet that 100 like requirement. Bubble tip anemones don't really have a lot of tips for it. I've never really had issues with it. I would say if you're going to keep anemones, just make sure, like I got anemones down here, you have a spot for them to keep their foot to go into, and try to isolate them on a rock if you can. Don't allow them to have free roaming room all over your main rockscape if you can avoid that. Don't hit them with direct flow. They like indirect flow to keep them from getting pissed off and moving around on you. And add them first if you can. So add them if you're not going to add them as your first coral, add them before you add any corals that are going to encrust in your tank. Like this Euphyllia here, that frog spine, it doesn't matter. I can put that in day one, and if an anemone decided to walk in this area and decided to make itself a home right here, I can be like, cool, anemone, you can have it. I can just pop it off the rock with super glue, glue it somewhere else. You can't do that with something that's going to encrust, like SPS corals, Montes, and stuff like that. So before you introduce your more permanent placing corals, get your anemone in the tank, let it settle down, let it find where it wants to live, then start placing those corals in those spots and hope that it doesn't move again. And to stop it from moving again, don't do any major changes to your tank. Don't do any major changes to your lighting, your flow pattern, any of that crap. You know, don't do those things, because any of those things could trigger it to want to move. So yeah, that's kind of the life of having an anemone in your system. That is for sure. Oh, we got a super chat. Inventory King, $15 super chat donation for the Gonapore for that section. Appreciate you, my man. And I tell you what, I'm gonna have to go try to find a Gonapore, man. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I've seen them in other people's tanks, but I just haven't seen them locally. At one point in time, Gonapores were like corals that were a waste of money, because you get them home, they always died, right? And somehow or another, they don't die as much anymore. So I tried a Ghani a long time ago in some of my older systems, and I had bad luck. But I'm willing to try another one, because it's a different day and age, you know. And my tank's been up long enough to where it may work out, right? It may end up making it happen. So, but yeah, I like the idea of a Ghani, and I love the idea of movement, because my tank is lacking movement. I'm lacking, you know, I used to always have torch corals in my tank, and I always used to have, you know, those euphyllias that swayed and all that kind of stuff. I'm not really carrying as much of a torch coral in this system because they're dangerous. They're dangerous corals, but I definitely want to add more movement, some kind of movement. Hey, another super chat, STL Reefer, $10 go for Ghani fund. You guys are really on this Ghani, so I'm gonna have to make sure it happens. Hey, I appreciate that, man. You guys are showing out with the super chats in this live stream, man. And as you guys coming in, we have 79 likes. We need 20 more. Just need 20 more. Let the replay stay up. Let me keep going. Let's keep talking. Let's keep answering questions. And hopefully, if anyone's new in the hobby, you know, you're doing okay with your system, or anyone that's not new in the hobby, you're doing okay with your system, right? Let me see. What is going on, Rods Reef? I see you. Reefing with O, I see you, man. Let me thumbs up. There you go. There you go, Tom. I see you. I see all you guys. Jose, yeah, as I spoke earlier, Acro Power amino acids is the only thing I've really added to the system to help out. Calcium reactor, heavy feeding, amino acids. I was dosing phytoplankton until I ran out of it, so I gotta get some more phytoplankton. That's something else that I've also been doing. I'm just trying to create a really nutrient-rich environment for the corals. That was my goal, without overdoing it and causing nuisance algae issues. That's pretty much the goal for the tank. I found that you know, the higher the nutrients I had in here, the better the colors, and it seemed like the better everything looked, like fish-wise too. Even the shrimp, the more food I had available, it's like they're breeding more. You know, my shrimp were spawning. Shrimp spawned probably like 6 or 7 times in this system so far. Little baby shrimp flying everywhere. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Sand bed, been up for 2 months. Travis, nothing more you can do with it, man. Diatoms just got to burn themselves out. Just make sure you're not feeding the tank something that's helping the diatom. So check your water source. Make sure you don't have a lot of silicates or anything in your water change water. You know, check your RDI unit, your container you're keeping your water in. Just make sure all that stuff's legit, and you're not feeding it. So, and honestly, if you don't need water changes, slow them down. Sometimes just stopping water changes, just stopping introducing new stuff to the system. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like when I was fighting the dinos in my tank, when I had dino flagellants, cutting water changes off probably was a major factor of eliminating one thing that was helping them. You know what I'm saying? So if you want something to burn itself out, you gotta cut the supply off somehow. Whatever supplying that source of power, cut that off. You know, so that's something I would probably do if you can do it. I don't know what your system is, but if you're in a situation where you don't really need water changes, then stop them and let the tank kind of balance itself out. Hopefully that helps you out. I'm checking here, and that was for T-Tribe Reefs and Aquatics. Looking ick. So I'm thinking adding 4 clowns. Sorry to hear that, man. Quarantine everything, even corals. There you go, Insane Reefer. So yeah, if you're gonna quarantine everything, including corals, I believe you're doing that. I believe Inventory King is doing that. There are people that are doing that, and I applaud you guys. And I really hope that it ends up, you know, working out in your favor as far as avoiding any of those catastrophic events in your tanks. But you got to do it that way if you're gonna do it. You can't half do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people quarantine the fish. Oh yeah, I'm doing things the right way, but they take coral straight from the LFS, put them right in their tank, right? And it's like you're just completely just canceling your whole quarantine thoughts at that point, right? So either do it all, or you know, don't say anything about doing it halfway. No half measures when it comes to quarantine. That's probably why I haven't done it. Let me see here. Should get some more hammers. Yeah, this torch's head was fire. Yeah, I'm checking here. We are, battery's almost going dead. Let me keep checking comments and make sure I get caught up on all these last comments. Let's see, looking gravel. Y'all, what is your ultimately contributed to your decision reasoning for the gravel versus sand? Andy, when it comes to the substrate, my main reason is the livestock choice I have in here. If I know I'm going to have sand sifters or wrasses that need to bury themselves in the sand, then I want to get a grain size that is small enough for them to actually get it in their mouth, but big enough to where the power heads won't blow it everywhere. And I found that the 3mm grain size sand, which is what I have in here, is absolutely perfect for that. It does not move. You can blow whatever amount of water you want. That stuff doesn't move. It'll move if you get some pointing right at it, but like it's some really sturdy substrate and appears to get the job done. This is I think Tropic Eden Tonga flakes. I forgot which one it was. That's the Tropic Eden, the 3mm size sand, the Tropic Eden. So if you look that up, that's the exact same sand I have here, and it ends up working perfect. Let me see. I think that's it. Skimmer. I'm using the Cadlights PLS Elite 2 skimmer. So definitely a beast. One of my favorite skimmers I've ever used. Here it is. I don't even know if they even make these anymore, man. I referred somebody to check this out, and they asked me, like, where'd you get it from? I can't find it. Like, this skimmer is a damn monster, man. The only other skimmer I've used on a JBJ was the Tunzi 904 skimmer, which worked good. It was a lower profile. It would look better. You wouldn't even see it if I had that skimmer on here, but this one is tunable. You twist it, you can adjust the water in the neck. It's just a monster, man. It works, period. It just works. I wouldn't doubt that this skimmer could probably work on a bigger system if you absolutely had to have it. It has a little plug on the bottom there to drain it and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I got that. And then we got the algae scrubber right there. These are my two sources of nutrient export. So my algae scrubber, skimmer, working in tandem. Algae scrubber has not performed to the same level as my Rain 2 algae scrubber did, my waterfall scrubber did on 120. Not even close, the amount. It just started showing something on it like the last month or so. And this is after months and months and months of having it on the tank. Still nothing. So not really 100% sure on the scrubber. I'm not going to completely give up on it. I'm going to give it its first shake. You know, now that it's starting to show something, I'm going to give it a chance to see what it'll do, knowing that I may not have had nutrients in the system enough for it, and knowing that I put vibrant in the system and maybe algae killing stuff in the system that could have impacted it. So many factors that I may have done that have impacted it. You know, not even putting the screen on the back when you first started it off. So many things I didn't do right on it at first that now I'm starting over again to see if it'll really work. If it doesn't work, then probably going to do something else. Something I never did use before. Maybe like a channel reactor or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But I'm not overly concerned. I feel like that skimmer is doing such an amazing job that even if I didn't have a scrubber on here, I will be fine. And the amount of phosphates in the system I can manage with water changes if I had to, or, you know, adjusting my feeding or something. So we'll see. You know, it's all a balancing act. It's all a balancing game when it comes to import, export, and all that kind of stuff. Let me see. Mix with mini flakes, half and half, perfect mix. STL Reefer. See, I'd never thought about half and half. That sounds like a good idea too. Yeah, that's a Santa Monica Hog 1 algae scrubber. The absolute best algae scrubber I had was my Rain 2. That algae scrubber, I was harvesting pounds. If I was in the algae business, you know, if I was distributing, you know, pounds of algae and selling it and, you know, doing those things in the streets, I would have been rich off that Santa Monica scrubber, that Rain 2, man. That sucker ain't no joke. From what I understand, they're in designing a waterfall scrubber that fits all in one tanks like this, and I'm trying to secure one of those. So I actually need to reach out to them again and see if I can get one of those things, because I would much prefer to have a waterfall style scrubber. I just feel like they're better, way better than the upflow scrubbers that you know, have the light through the glass and air and all that kind of stuff. I just feel like the waterfalls is going to be my style. So for those who don't know, I'm sponsored by Santa Monica. So ever since the JBJ I had a long time ago, when I first got that scrubber, they've sponsored every system I've had with algae scrubbers. So I'm going to see if I can get my hands on the latest one, the new one they have, and try it out and see if it works. I got a feeling it will. I think the waterfall scrubber is probably the best one, period, point blank. So, but let me check comments here. I'm checking the comments really quick. Not too high. Let me see, blah, 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 blah. My phosphate levels in this tank, last time I checked them, I haven't checked them in a few weeks, to be honest, maybe even a month. It may have been a month by now. I don't know. But last time I checked them, they were like 0.24, something like that. A lot of people want 0.003 or, you know, all those kind of things. Me, I'm aiming for like 0.1. I want 0.1 when it comes to the phosphates in my tank. I want available phosphates in the system. I want available nitrates in the system. I don't want a nutrient depleted system in here. I don't want to have to deal with nutrients bottoming out and stuff dying. I feel like, you know, 0.1 gives me enough wiggle room to where if I need to back off feeding, I'm okay, because I still won't drop too low. Or let's say I wanted to dose something like Vibrant, or if I want to dose some bacteria or something, I'm not gonna have to worry about bottoming out my nutrients. You know, just, you don't want to hover so close to zero to where you can't make a mistake, you make a hiccup or anything like that, to where everything dies. So that's pretty much my thought. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Reef Keeper says Rain 2 works. We got 90 likes. I'm getting ready to wrap it up because my battery's getting ready to go dead. We need 10 quick likes to let the replay happen, guys. 10 quick likes. Whoever you are, if you're watching the stream, if you haven't hit the like button yet, hit the like button now. We got to get to 100. I really want to let this be a replay just for people to sit back and just be able to watch, because ain't nobody doing nothing anyways. You know, give them something to look at. It's been a lot of great I think topics covered in this video that may be beneficial for people, maybe some food for thought, who knows, whatever the case may be. But I just want to make sure I, you know, let this replay be available. So we got 96, 98, there we go. We almost there, 100 likes. We're gonna get ready to shut it off. Feed my tangs, 2 little fishies, pocket feeder. There you go, Reef Keeper. Yeah, dope. Hopefully that helped you, man. Hopefully that helped you. 10 years taking a break. Not King Reef. Hey, take a break, enjoy the break, man. Enjoy the break. The break's an awesome thing. I took a break and I definitely enjoyed it. There we go. 101. Hey, that's what I like to see, people. So I tell you what, it's almost time for me to get up out of here. West Coast, what's happening, baby? You slid in right at the end, Big Doc. But I'm getting ready to wrap it up, man. So, because I know you guys have seen the beginning of the stream, someone's coming in here asking what's for dinner. I don't know. We about to go figure it out, but it's time to go figure that out now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. If you missed everything, oh, great question. When's the chat coming back? Soon. I got to figure out how to use Streamlab or StreamYard or something like that, to where I can let people join, and I'll work it out. I think Rico figured out how to do it on his. I got to talk to him, see if he can help me out how to do it. But yeah, Reef Shack will be coming back soon. I think that'll be great. But until then, if you missed this video, if you missed the beginning of this live stream, we got 102 likes. We hit our 100 like goal for replays. So I will leave this up for replay for everyone to go back and check out. And hopefully you guys enjoy your Saturdays, you know, enjoying everything that needs to be enjoyable right now, staying positive, staying safe, social distancing, you know, doing what you got to do, man, to make sure we survive 2020, because, you know, this has not been a good year so far for anybody. Family members, I lost 2 family members last week within 48 hours, lost an uncle and a cousin with back-to-back. Worst part is, couldn't even go to a funeral, wasn't even allowed to have a proper funeral because of the social distancing rules. Literally, you know, don't stay home, stay safe. You don't want to deal with death this time of the year, at this year period, right? You don't want to deal with any of that stuff. So make sure you stay safe, take care of yourself, man. Focus on things that matter. Things are important. So, but on a lighter note, hey, appreciate you all coming in. Thanks for hanging out. enjoying the hobby, enjoying the JBJ, enjoying me chit-chatting, running my mouth a little bit, but I think it's time to roll out. So, hey, you guys keep doing what y'all do. Y'all be easy. I'll catch you guys next random live stream, hopefully the Reef Shack. Peace.